Programming, and in today's video I'll be talking about my recent experience of luxury shopping in Osaka, Japan. So what I wanted to do in this video is really focus mainly on pre-love luxury market, because that is like the thing that everybody talks about when they go to Japan. But what I want to do is sort of take you on my journey with me, and actually I was planning to do vlogging while I was in Japan, but the weather completely ruined it because on the first day it was just way too cold. It was so cold, like, I don't know, because I come from a tropical country, I just wasn't mentally prepared. I didn't realize that it would be very difficult wearing gloves and to film with a camera. And yeah, so that just ruined my plans. And then on the second to the last day, it was raining. So it made that completely impossible to film with holding an umbrella, my shopping stuff, and yeah, I just didn't have enough hands. But anyways, in today's video, what I'll do is I will talk you through the different areas that we went to in order to go luxury shopping. So I'm going to break this video into 2 or maybe 3 videos because I realized yesterday when I was filming that this was a very long video and my computer couldn't handle editing all of it. So I am actually refilming this. And anyways, let me get started right away. And what I want to talk about is the Dotonbori and Shinsaibashi areas, which is where we went to on our second day in Japan looking for pre-love luxury items. So the Dotonbori area is like the main tourist converging point. I feel like there are so many people in this area, but that's because it's really a feast for your senses. And you will see right away when you look up, there's so many restaurants with beautiful signages. They have some with like the really big crab legs, and then they have some cows, they have dragons, and yeah, it's just amazing there. And everything smells so good. I mean, you literally have to try everything. There are takoyaki vendors along the road, and then there are those who sell the fried stuff as well, which tastes really good with beer. I forgot what it's called, but anyways, there's so much food options right there. There's also a lot of the traditional ramen shops as well, but we actually did not choose to eat in this area simply because I feel like it's more of like a tourist sort of area. So we actually went to a traditional Japanese Matsusaga beef place, and yeah, we were very lucky because we actually had a food tour guide who told us exactly where to find the best Japanese cuisine. And wow, the Matsusaga beef was definitely to die for. Oh my god, it was so good. But I don't suggest having it more than once because it can be really heavy. Anyways, moving on from Dotonbori area, you just walk a little bit and you will reach the Shinsaibashi shopping arcade. And the thing that I love about Osaka is that everything feels so close. So literally you just walk straight, and everything is not confusing, especially for me who I'm pretty directionalist, but in Osaka I seem to be able to find my way around simply because you can just remember a landmark or where something is, and also their roads are in a grid system. So on the Shinsaibashi shopping arcade, you'll see like 2 roads. One is literally for shopping and the other one is for eating. So it is so perfect for couples who are like me and my husband. He loves to eat, and of course I love to shop. So anyways, on the shopping street, what you'll find first is a lot of drugstores. So if you are into like Japanese cosmetic products or Japanese food products, you can check out like Matsumoto Kiyoshi, or they have the Daikokuwa drug. There's just literally so many different drugstores as you walk down that road. The other thing that you will see a lot of are different Japanese brands like Diana, which is really amazing for their shoes. You'll see like the Onitsuka Tiger, there's the Sanrio shop, there's a Disney store as well, and there's just so much stuff to see. But the reason why I was in that Shinsaibashi shopping arcade is really to look for pre-love luxury items, and you will find a lot of the stores here as well. So this is really the perfect place if you are looking for like a second-hand watch or even clothing, jewelry, and of course handbags as well. So what I did is I went to my favorite places first, which are usually Brand Off, Book Off, and Daikokua. And I tend to only shop in these stores, although I will look at every store, but I only tend to shop in like these main stores that I'm already familiar with. And that's really because I do not want to be buying a fake handbag by accident. And even though they say that Japan does not have any fakes, you can never be too sure. So as long as I remember the stores where I bought these items from, I have the assurance that I can always go back there in the future if I do have any issues with the handbag itself. So anyways, let me show you exactly what I picked up. And I have with me 2 Louis Vuitton bags and 1 Chanel bag. So the first Louis Vuitton bag that I picked up is this Louis Vuitton Salone, and they no longer manufacture this bag, but I think it is a really nice crossbody bag. And the reason why I really like the Louis Vuitton Salone is because it has an easy access back pocket. And I find that any bag with something like this is really so much more convenient for me in terms of like being able to slip in my cell phone or a receipt which I just quickly want to put away. So I find that this back pocket is just so convenient. The second item that I picked up is this Louis Vuitton Speedy 30, and I think that this was a pretty good deal because I think I paid around 68,000 yen for this, and it looks practically brand new. This was something that is called a rank A, and I will talk a little bit about that more in a second, but this Speedy 30 looks so good. I mean, the vachetta color is still very light and it looks like it hasn't really been used a whole lot. And then this one is also made in France, which is something that I like about Japan Louis Vuitton, is most of it is made in European countries. You don't get a lot of the made in USA items. So the first thing that you want to do when you are shopping for pre-loved luxury handbags is take a look at the tag. And the tag is written in Japanese, but you will see a few English words, including the price, and you will see the word rank. And it will either have the letter S, A, B, C, D, or E. And what these all means is rank S means that it has never been used, so it's store fresh. And then you will have rank A, which means it's something like this, which is slightly used but in very good condition or in excellent condition. And then something that is between the two, which is rank AB, that would be this one, which is slightly used but in very good condition still. And then you have rank B, which is very good condition, used, and then rank C, which is regular use and may have some tears or may have some damaged spots, so you really have to check it. And then rank D and E, and then yeah, so it gets worse from there. So very important to take a look at the ranking of the bag, and then to also ask whoever is assisting you if there are any damages on the bag. And sometimes the Japanese text says something like there are sticky pockets, and you don't realize it because it's in Japanese, or I don't realize it because it's in Japanese, and then later on when you go home you kind of like look at the pocket on the inside and you're like, oh my god, it's damaged, you can't use it. And yeah, that has happened to me before, so now I always make it a point to ask exactly what does the Japanese text say on the tag. The other thing that I always ask for are what are the inclusions. This bag actually didn't come with anything. It only came with the bag by itself, and it said no inclusions on the tag, but I asked nicely the SA if I could have a dust bag. And since he remembered me, and that's also the reason why I tend to buy from the same store over and over again. And also, I think because of the coronavirus, there are a lot less tourists right now, so there are more inventory. He was nice enough to give me a dust bag. He actually gave me a dust bag for both bags. This one, oops, fell on the floor. He actually also gave me a dust bag for the Louis Vuitton Salone as well. And the older dust bags kind of look like this. So that's just for you guys to differentiate with the newer ones, which is more of a lighter shade, and then it has the entire Louis Vuitton spelled out on it. So that is it for the Louis Vuitton. And then the second place that I bought from was Daikokua. So both of these Louis Vuittons I got in Brand Off. And then the second place that I bought in is Daikokua. And you have to be careful with Daikokua because there's so many of them. It's actually a franchise. But I tend just to go to like the big one on that Shinsaibashi Road. So what I picked up from there is this beautiful Chanel 23cm lambskin, and I find that this bag is so gorgeous. The older Chanels really are, like, in terms of the hardware, the quality is just so much better. Like, you won't see any fading at all. Of course, the leather, you can see that it's not as puffy as a new one, but if that doesn't bother you so much, and I just really wanted this as part of my collection, just to have something that I can say is a vintage Chanel in my collection, so I decided to go with this one. And I think that this is like the perfect size for me. They do have like a lot of the bigger ones. So this one is 23, and then they do have one that is like 2 centimeters bigger, which is 25. They're almost all the same price range, but the ones without an authenticity card will be a little bit cheaper. I decided to go for one with an authenticity card. So that is this one right here. And then, yeah, it's just in this pouch. And on the inside, it still looks really good. But one of the things that I would do is, if you are looking for a Chanel, is to take a look on the inside, because a lot of the ones that I saw actually are turning white on the inside, and you will see the scratches right here, and then they're sort of peeling. I don't know if it's because of the way that they are kept. And yeah, if the bag is kept in a very humid environment, it does tend to do that. So do take a look on the inside of the handbag and like all of the pockets before purchasing that handbag. So this one was really good, and I'm very happy with it. So that's how this one looks. And Chanel bags, I think for the vintage one, most of them, I don't think there are a lot of fakes, or you would be able to tell right away whether a vintage Chanel is a fake or not. I think it's a lot easier to tell than the newer ones in the Caviar from the 23 to like above series. Those are the ones that they're really producing a lot of super fake for. But for the vintage Chanels, I think there are not so many. And yeah, I think that this was a really good deal. So I paid about $2,100 US for this handbag. Okay, so that is it for the first part of this video. I will do a part 2 of my Osaka, Japan trip, maybe for next week's video, but I just really want to edit and get this one up so that you guys know that I am still here and I have not been attacked by coronavirus or something. Knock on wood. But anyways, yeah, also if you are traveling to Japan, I do want to address this coronavirus issue because it is really a very big problem right now. A lot of the tourist attractions are closed, and we really took the necessary precautions. Like on the plane, we were always in masks. We made sure to always have alcohol with us. And yeah, so just be very cautious when you are traveling. There are a lot less people right now, so that is a good thing as well, because you don't bump into people as much. But also it has really taken its toll on Japan's tourism. So Universal Studios is closed. While we were there, they also announced that the schools will be closing, so the kids do not have any school. And yeah, the government is really trying to contain this virus as much as possible. But for the shop owners, it's still business as usual. But if you are planning to do like the tourist attractions, Osaka Castle and stuff, I would check first, especially if you are traveling in the next few months. It doesn't seem so advisable to do so. I know a lot of people did message me actually when they found out that I was in Japan. They're like, oh, what is the situation there? Is it safe to travel to Japan? And I would say that it's not really safe to travel anywhere right now. But if you take sort of the precautions, I mean, that's the best that we can do. And also I noticed on the plane that it was a very not full flight, as in I was the only one in my row, and that's because I already switched to the other row from my husband's side. So he was the only one in his row, I was the only one in my row, and behind me it was empty as well. So there was very, very little people flying. Yeah, so that's just my thoughts on this coronavirus issue. I actually will not be traveling anytime soon as well, because I really think that is just not worth the risk. Anyways, guys, I will see you all in next week's video. If you like this week's video, please do remember to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment in the comment section down below letting me know your thoughts on buying Japanese pre-loved. Anyways, guys, I will see all of you in the next video. Bye-bye.